And the following thing happened. Robert Moses wanted to build yet another bridge across Long Island Sound. Of course, he had already built the Triborough Bridge, the Bronx-Whitestone Bridge, and the Throgsneck Bridge. And he was planning another one, and Newsday had me look into this, and I discovered it was the world's worst idea. The traffic on Long Island was already overwhelming, and this would have brought all the traffic from New England down, and it would have required 12 more lanes on the Long Island Expressway. In addition, the bridge would have had to be so huge that the piers that held it would have to be so big that they would have interfered with the tidal flow in Long Island Sound and actually created pollution there. So I wrote these stories, and the newspaper sent me up to Albany to see how the legislature was regarding it. And I spoke to the governor, Nelson Rockefeller. He understood it was the worst idea ever. Spoke to the Assembly Speaker. He understood it was the worst idea, the President of the Senate. And I wrote this article and went back to Newsday, thinking I was done. And about 2 weeks later, I had a friend in Albany, and she called me. She said, "Bob, you better come back up here." And I said, "Oh, I don't think that's necessary. I think I've taken care of this." But she said, "Robert Moses was up here yesterday, and I think you should come back." And I remember driving up to Albany and walking into the press gallery of the Assembly just as they approved the bridge by a vote of something like 183 to 4. And I remember thinking in that moment, everything I've been writing has sort of been baloney, because whether you say it or not in an article, everything I was doing was based on the feeling that in a democracy, political power comes from the ballot box, from being elected, from the people. Yet here was a man who was never elected to anything, and he had enough power to turn an entire state government around in a single day. And I had no idea, and actually neither did anybody else, where he got this power from. And it was then that I thought that if I really want to write about politics truthfully, I have to find out, because no one knew, where he got his power and how he had been using it for so long.